Hi everybody. So I'm obviously in a different place today. I'm at the Peninsula Hotel in London and I'm in my dressing room, which is very nice, and it gives me somewhere to film while my husband does businessy things. Anyway, today I thought I would say thank you to everyone who's been writing to me. I have a lot of people I need to get back to, and it's really nice to connect with people who I've not heard from in like a few years. I'm really excited to actually slow down and think about the things you've been saying and asking, and yeah, it's just really interesting. And as someone who's not had much connection in recent times, it's I feel quite uninitiated actually again, but I'm really excited to slow down and talk about stuff actually. So today I wanted to talk about the main-ish reason why I don't want to have children. And I've known I haven't wanted to have children for almost ever. I never felt like I wanted to be a mother. I had friends at school who certainly did feel that way, who would say, oh, I can't wait to be a mom, I can't wait to, you know, be mummy or whatever. I never ever felt that way. And over the years I've had lots of different sort of thoughts about sort of why I feel like that, and ultimately it is kind of for me a visceral no. It's a sort of hell no. And you know, I can come up with lots of rationalizations for why that is the way I feel. But ultimately, I think the one that does the biggest driving in terms of the repulsion, the repelling, is the fact that I have always struggled with being a female mammal. And that sounds really odd, and I don't hear anybody actually talking about this in the sort of childless, child-free videos that I watch. And yeah, might as well just take it back really. So ever since puberty basically, so ever since developing secondary sexual characteristics, I have felt completely sort of uninfluenced by society almost in this way, but I immediately felt total raging self-disgust. I wasn't given those messages from society, as long as, you know, as far as I'm aware, certainly not by my family, certainly not at school. These were feelings that I just had. I hated body hair, and no one had ever told me body hair was bad. People in my family had body hair, and I was just like, that's disgusting, and I just completely loathed it. And as soon as I found a razor, you know, during like a bath when I was like, I don't know, 11 years old, I decided to shave the body hair off my arms, my legs, my everything. I was just like, this has all gotta go, all gotta go. And like, I remember the first thing I noticed was actually my arms, and I'm naturally blonde, and it's absurd to me that I suddenly like saw hair on my arms, and I was like, well, fuck no to this, which was really strange looking back. And I'm not sure what it was about like just body hair that I was just so disgusted by. I still don't like body hair, but I don't shave my arms. Obviously the second thing is breasts. Like, I was a very early bloomer, and I had my first bra when I was, well, I was meant to have it at 9 years old. but I basically refused to wear this bra that me and my mum had gone out and bought for me, which was like totally humiliating. I honestly felt like this cannot be happening. I cannot possibly need this accoutrement, this garment. And so I would actually choose not to wear the bra, and I would wind sellotape around my chest day in, day out to strap everything down. And I did this for years. I would wear like a vest on top of it so that underneath my like school uniform you couldn't really see like anything particularly weird, but like I would like wind and wind and wind. It was like a kind of foot binding but for my chest, like a sort of chest binding. And I was like, I don't want this body. I don't want what's happening here. And it was just like a complete denial of femininity. I didn't want to be, I don't know that I didn't want to be female per se, like I didn't want to be a man, but it could have been very easy for me to have made an inference from I don't want these female characteristics to I want to be a man. I simply never made that, so I don't think this was me going through some sort of trans identity crisis. I can't say I've ever experienced anything like that, but as I say, I've always had a problem being a female mammal. I've not liked the breasts, the body hair, and neither have I liked the periods. So as soon as I knew of the existence of oral contraception and its ability to suppress the menstrual cycle, I have taken oral contraception pretty much as far as possible, back to back, without breaks, for nearly 20 years now. And yeah, it's been kind of just an effort to never experience the vicissitudes of mood swings around the menstrual cycle, obviously avoiding periods as far as I possibly could, just almost trying to erase and deny that aspect of my biology. I just didn't want to have to deal with that stuff. And as soon as I realized there was something that was kind of fine to take for that, I did it. And finally we get on to why I don't want to have children. And I would say the biggest reason is a complete phobia, disgust, horror at the thought of being a pregnant mammal. I honestly, when I say this, I can't imagine anything worse. The thought of basically being treated like a farm animal. Like, it sounds awful, and I don't mean this as a judgment on anyone that chooses to have children. This is honestly just how I have felt about my body and myself. And I've never ever been able to sit with the idea that I would be this growing, enlarging woman with like breasts that are getting bigger and filled with milk and a massive tummy that's distorting your skin and just making you unwieldy. And then we get to obviously the birth, and I have these just horrible, nightmarish imaginations of being in a hospital on the day of a birth and, you know, mooing like a cow in the pain, in the discomfort of it all, and being kind of pulled around and pushed about, and people inserting their fingers into you, and you're just sort of there at this sort of large but impossibly vulnerable being. And it's something I've just never ever been able to sit with. I can't choose that for myself. I simply cannot. And this isn't to say that I think I would be a dreadful parent per se. I honestly am agnostic about it. I don't think I'd be brilliant, to be honest. But I have never ever felt like I could ever have gotten pregnant. And, you know, obviously I've been on contraception for 20 years, pretty much, you know, with a few exceptions of coming off this pill, like very briefly. I have been on it for decades, and I have chosen to not participate as far as possible in female mammalian reality. And I never ever hear anybody talking about this. I, for context, do have body dysmorphic disorder, and I've had eating disorders. I've had, you know, I had anorexia and I've had bulimia, and I'm a very highly conscientious person. I have severe social anxiety disorder. I have mild agoraphobia. You know, so I've got a lot of like social phobia and phobias around bodily reality anyway. But I think the fact that, you know, I'm a female rational mammal has made the possibility of pregnancy, birth, it made it completely impossible, quite frankly. And I even went to the doctor when I was 21 years old, and I said, you need to sterilize me. I am certain I will never ever want to have children. I don't want you to say you'll change your mind. I know me. I know this can never happen, and I honestly think it's in my medical interest that this can never happen. And they told me I would change my mind. I'm 36 and I haven't changed my mind. If anything, the feeling has only ever grown stronger. And yeah, so that is me. It's a bit kooky, but it's the reality of the way I feel about this. And I honestly don't know how any rational female mammal can accept the reality of procreative biology. I don't know, I guess a lot of people really embrace it. They really love pregnancy. They, I'm guessing, don't necessarily love childbirth, but they often report positive experiences, and just find that very very hard to believe. Not that I don't believe them, I find it unrelatable. But maybe you relate to me. Maybe you have spent 36 years pretending you're not a mammal, and it'd be interesting to hear what you have to say. So yeah, do please share your thoughts. It would be fascinating to learn that I'm not alone, or yet more fascinating to learn that I am. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk soon. Bye.